Peace, appreciation, and abundance, ladies and gentlemen. Peace, appreciation, and abundance. It's your boy AS3, the host with the most, baby. I already know what time it is. It's another segment of Talk About It TV. This one right here is episode 16 and very, very special. I got a very, 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 very special guest on the line with me right now. My brother Dre Says. This brother is an entrepreneur, a business owner. He does any and everything under the sun, man. I'm gonna let him do more explaining to you, so y'all really get the gist of what's really going on. Dre, what's popping, baby? How you?
What's poppin', man? My man,
Mm,
woo! Go back some years, bro. This is years in the making right here, bro. This
yes,
is
sir.
years in the making, bro. Thank you for the intro too, my guy. Like
I
I be
appreciate it.
trying. I be out here trying. That's it. I be out here trying, and with God's blessing, I be winning sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I
I
know
be
that's right.
winning sometimes.
We only could
What's
do what
good?
we could do, man. I appreciate you being on the platform, bro.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
seen your first podcast. I said, well, I need to be on there. I need to be
No
on there.
doubt.
We got some stuff to talk about. I need to be on there.
Yes, sir. So before we even get into it, man, how's life, man? How's everything? How you been?
Life's good, bro. Life is life's great, man.
Mm,
I just turned 40 this past June. I'm about to be 41 this June coming up.
no doubt.
It's crazy because people say like, oh, when you turn 40, you know what I mean, everything changes. Your body start to hurt and da 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 da. And honestly, bro, I feel like at 40, everything mentally and spiritually started connecting. Like
Mm,
just naturally started connecting. And it's like, damn, like, okay, yeah. So some stuff did change at 40, but it wasn't the stuff that most people say. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you
right.
get older, you might have a couple more pops and cracks in the knees and all that stuff, but like just like my outlook on life, it was already like I was already focused and knew what I wanted to be, but like it just became clear at 40. Like,
Mm,
okay, Dre, so this is where we at. You know what I'm saying? Like, good
right.
job so far, but we
Mm-hmm.
got some more work to do. And I feel like that. I feel like 40 was a thing I needed, bro. Like my real pops lived to 47, so me making it to 40 is like
Wow.
big for me. Like, okay, yeah,
Mm,
we on the right trajectory. We good. We good. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I cherish that. So life's good, man. No complaints on this end.
No doubt, no doubt, man. It's actually a blessing to be in this space. Um, if a lot of people even could make it to 40, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
in the kind of world that we live in right now. So it's a very appreciative spirit to be in the moment and just know that when you can look back on a lot of stuff, because me and you got 20 plus years in this, man. In terms of, for y'all
It's,
who don't know, man, I've known this brother for over 20 years,
oh
and
yeah.
of course, people get together and we have our own paths, and life takes toll, and we go do our things and stuff, but we always touch base at some point. So it's just appreciative to still be around at 40
Oh
years
yeah.
old, man. It's a
Yeah.
blessing.
And shout out,
Um,
real talk, shout out to social media too, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Cause it'd be so
word.
hard to keep up with your peoples. And like I'm one of them cats, and you are too. Like, and I noticed like
Mm-hmm.
if we don't talk every day, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? There's still mad
Mm-hmm.
love, there's still mad appreciation for that person. But sometimes I just be wanting to be like, yo, I wonder what they up to.
Mm.
And like if I could just pop on Facebook or Instagram real quick, I can kind of see what you up to. You know what I'm saying? And then get back to what I
Right.
was doing and allow you to continue to do what you're doing. And then have moments like these where we like, nah, we need to catch up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Like as much as I be complaining about social media sometimes, fucking shout out to social media because there's a lot of people I wouldn't know what the hell was going on if I didn't have that ability in the palm of my hand. You know what I'm saying? Where I could just check.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No, that's real facts, bro. 'Cause I used to be one of them people too, especially early on with social media. I used to get upset just at dumb shit sometimes, like just from not actually seeing people post things, but kind of like people think that they know I'm all right just because they looked at my post. Like niggas don't give me a call, this, that, and the third. I was feeling some type of way,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
beginning
same.
and stuff.
Nigga, I used to
But
get mad about people not following me.
mm, right, that
Like,
too.
I followed you 3 weeks ago. You ain't follow me back type shit. That was what you know what I mean, when I was younger, when the shit first started, like back in
Yeah.
MySpace days and shit like that. Like, but it's like now that I've
Ooh.
gotten older, I just appreciate being able to have that visual of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah.
I mean that's the way I get my news and shit too. Like, I don't watch the news. You know what I'm saying? So like
Right. Me neither.
I pop on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
and find out what happened the day before real quick. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Mm.
yeah, it's different. It's a different day and age, bro. I'll tell you that. We live in a
Word.
different day and age.
I know that's right, man. So, without further ado, man, let the people know exactly, like, how you came up. You know what I'm saying? Where you from?
Yeah. Oh
And
shit, man. You know I'm from the town, bro. I'm from Rochester, New York.
okay.
Um, I grew up on the west side over on Thurston. And then in my later years, I went to Rush Henrietta, so I grew up in Henrietta for the rest of my life. Um,
Mm.
I mean, I'm a bona fide 100% West Side Rochester nigga. Like it's just who
Mm.
I am. Like I did, you know what I mean, and I'm proud of it. Like a lot of people, like I think a lot of people don't appreciate it until they move away. So
Right.
they'll be like, oh, I don't want to be here. I hate it here. Da, da, da. I be feeling that way sometimes too, but it's because it's where we grew up. I feel like everybody feels that way about where they grew up. People could have grew up in
Mm.
Beverly Hills and they'd be like, oh, I fucking hate it here. I can't wait to leave. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a lot of people do that way, but then you notice when people move away and they start to do, you know what I mean, better because it's a new environment. They can be a whole different person if they want to. Then they start to appreciate where they came from and the roots and what grounded them. So like, yeah, I may complain about the snow here and there and some of the wild shit that be going on in our city because it'd be dangerous over here sometimes. But nah,
Right.
bro, I I appreciate being in the Rochester area, 100%, bro.
No, yeah. And with it being dangerous and things of that nature, it's really more about what you projecting mentally. You know what I'm saying? Which can
Yeah,
happen to you physically. What you put out is what you get back. A lot of people be in dangerous situations, but or a lot around a lot of dangerous things that are going on. But as long as you keep your frequency lit, you know what I'm saying, in a way where you kind
yeah.
of like have a force field around you, and people
What
don't
people
really
say,
understand that,
they be saying, play stupid games, you get stupid prizes.
right?
So
Right.
if you put yourself in those predicaments, yeah, you're gonna see that part of the city. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not on
Mm-hmm.
that, and don't get me wrong, there be casualties sometimes that don't need to be, but for the most part,
Right.
you doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not gonna involve yourself in that shit no way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact. Now we gotta get real. How was it for you growing up? You feel like from being on the west side, things of that nature. How was it for you?
I feel like, and I told my mom this a couple of years ago. Uh, I feel like I was lucky because so like real quick, so like my mom and pops had me and my older sister Rochelle together, right? But when I
Mm,
was like one, I think my mom left my dad. Um, he wasn't like no abusive person, none of that shit. She just wasn't feeling the direction he wanted to go in his life, and you know what I mean, and vice versa. So my mom said, for me to be and do what I want to do, my mom's always been a strong woman. For me to be what I want to be, do what I want to do, raise my kids the way I want to raise my kids, we can't be together,
mm,
right? My mom meets my stepdad when I'm two. We moved to Thurston. My dad moves four fucking streets over.
wow.
So I've always had a village around me. So that's good, right? I've always had a
Mm,
village. So the crazy part about that is I didn't realize we were broke or damn near poor until I became an adult because I never felt that way.
mm. Talk
Everyone in
about
my
it.
village lived the same way. You know what I'm saying? So I never like
Mm-hmm.
we like there wasn't, don't get me wrong, like we ain't never starving no shit like that, but like we ain't always have the flyest shit. We ain't always have the best food and all that other shit. But they made it work. Mom and pops worked, you know
Mm,
what I mean, double jobs. My stepdad had a couple extra side hustles. You know what I'm saying? We lived in a 2 bedroom apartment. Me and my sister shared a room until we moved out to Henrietta. Like, so like just the simple shit, like, yeah, we lived in the hood. But I ain't know that shit till I got older. It didn't make any sense. It just felt normal to me until I
Right.
started seeing. I got older and saw what like other kids had growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to somebody's house when you like 12, 13, and they mom be like, "Oh yeah, just get whatever you want out the pantry," and you got to look at her and go, "What the fuck is a pantry?"
Right.
Because I ain't never seen one before. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, like growing
Word.
up on the West Side was dope, bro. Like I had all my friends around me. My pops was only a couple streets up the street. My stepbrother, shout out to my stepbrother Ellery. He was a G boy back in the day. So like, ain't nobody ever fuck with me. Like we was cool. We go see Poppy at the corner store across the street. I grab my stepdad a beer. They ain't never questioned
Mm-hmm.
me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it was the early '90s. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
Mm.
cool to still be outside playing and shit,
Right.
riding the bikes up and down the street. I was telling my sister the other day, yo, we used to walk to elementary school, and that shit was almost 2 miles away.
Mm.
And we was in the elementary school, and they would just let us walk. But the
Right.
neighborhood was the neighborhood, so wasn't nobody fucking with no kids. You know what I'm saying? We're like nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
you can't really trust that. Now, fast forward, moving out to Henrietta, that shit was a culture shock.
Mm.
Like it was different, bro. Like I went from seeing nothing but black and Hispanic people and Jamaicans, you know what I'm saying,
Mm.
to seeing maybe one or two other black people.
Right.
Now Henrietta is very diverse now, but
Mm.
when I got there and like you know what I mean, Traj was out there when I got out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Um, my nigga Wingate was out there when I got out there, but there wasn't a lot of us.
Right.
And then we got separated depending on where we lived. So like I didn't go to school with all of them until I think like eighth grade. I met
Wow.
Wingate. Wingate, he was in the same apartment complex as me or townhouse complex as me. So me and him went to school together all through middle school. But like some of them I didn't meet even until high school. Some of the African American kids that I was friends with. Like so it was just different. Like seeing a lot of and like I didn't know who I could and couldn't trust at first.
Mm.
So like not that I mean we was kids, so I wasn't worried about it, but I was just like I would go home and be like, "Ma, Scott wants me to come over to his house." Remember this kid, Scott Radner, coolest little white boy I ever met. Scott wants me to come over to his house after school tomorrow. My mom like, well, who's Scott? And I'm like, this kid in my class. And she'd be like, well, okay, I just got to meet his mom. And I'm like, they're white. And she'd be like, okay, Andre, that's fine. And I'm like, you sure? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So like, it was different. Like I
Mm.
ain't know no better. All I knew is what I knew, and I didn't know that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
but I will say this: being able to get out like my mom moved out to Henrietta because of the shit that I was getting into in schools in the city. Like I had went to like three different schools before we got or two different schools before she was like, "Yeah, we got to get the fuck out of here because you not paying attention or you acting out in class." Like, nigga, I got kicked out of
Right.
elementary school. That shit makes no sense. Who gets kicked out of elementary school? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So
Mm-hmm.
like when we finally moved out of Henrietta, I kind of I think not feeling super comfortable at first made it so that I paid more attention in school.
Mm.
I wasn't getting in trouble because I wasn't sure what the consequences would be. Where back on the west side, I knew what the consequences were. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, cool. So I kind of got my shit together. And it made me more diverse in life. So like, I'm thankful for my childhood, bro. Ups and downs, all that shit. I feel like there were certain times I saw my parents struggle trying to keep us out there because you know shit
Mm-hmm.
costs more in the suburbs, at least to live. So
Right.
like there was some shit that they struggled with. There was times where we like lived at my stepdad's mom house for like a year or two while they were over in Dominican Republic. We like stood at their house, and I think that was so my parents could just bank up money to get us into another place. Like we moved like every 3 4 years until I was like 18 because we were just going from apartment or townhouse to that they could afford. So like
Mm. So,
I wish we didn't have to, I wish my parents didn't have to go through that. But shit, like I said, I didn't know we were broke till I got older. My parents did a very good job of making sure I never felt like I was going without.
right. That's a fact. My
Yeah.
parents did the same thing. I could say that. So you black and Dominican. That's
No,
your
I'm black.
nationality.
I'm just black.
Nothing else.
No, my stepdad is my stepdad. That's my he's the Dominican one.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right. Okay,
So
okay.
actually, okay, so realistically, my dad's mother, my birth father's mother is half white.
Mm.
So like that's like the closest to anything else. And then I think she got some Indian in her too. But like if you see my younger sister Erica, she's high yellow. Like she get that from my grandmother. Like and then like yeah, I mean I'm not the darkest person ever, and then my sister's my complexion too. So like that's why my hair be different sometimes, all that shit because of my grandmother. But nah, my stepdad, everybody thought I was Dominican because my stepdad was my only dad I knew for a while. Like he was the only one that I spent a lot of
Mm-hmm.
time with. And I just picked up traits of his, like even some of the verbiage I would say would have like a Latin accent to it, kind of like I wouldn't mean to, but that's how I mean, I learned. Met him when I was 2, like so the way he would say shit, sometimes I would say shit. My mom would have to correct me, but like, no, that's not how you say that. Like, no, that's not. Well, I remember getting
Right.
out to Henrietta and then putting me in like not a speech class, but like a reading and writing class because I would say things. Plus, I would spend time in the summertime with my grandmother in Niagara Falls, but she was from
Mm-hmm.
Pigeon Creek, Georgia. So she was, fourth grade education, all that shit. So she didn't really say things right off either. I remember the school calling home and being like, "Why is Andre saying axe?"
Mm.
And my mom be like, "What you mean?" And be like, "Well, he wants to ask for something, but he keeps saying axe." And she's like, "Oh, that's from his stepdad and his grandmother. They English ain't the greatest." And so like I
Wow.
had to retrain myself, especially when we got out to Henrietta. Like I had to retrain
Right.
myself on that. Like I was behind in a couple classes just because the curriculum wasn't the same in the
Mm-hmm.
city.
That's a fact.
Henrietta was a little tougher than the city, so like we had to catch up there. But yeah, nah, my nationality, man, I'm black, blackity black, black, black.
Oh, okay. Blackity black.
Right?
Word. So, in terms of you coming up in Henrietta, because I already know, like from when I came out there, back in late '99, early 2000.
Yeah, we
For
was in
me,
high school.
yeah, yeah, that was a definitely culturally diverse place that I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, we didn't
Um,
have that when I first got there.
yeah, that's why when you say that, I'm kind of like, it, it,
Yeah,
it,
ask
it, it,
you
it
know you
caught
gotta
me off guard.
ask Trudge and ask G Ford like when they were younger, like just getting to junior high, it wasn't that diverse.
Mm,
Especially in the first neighborhood, like the first neighborhood we lived in, we were the only black family on that street. And actually, I think maybe like nope, I'm wrong. We were the second because L Lamar, R.I.P., lived at the end of that
mm,
street. So it's like it was right
wow.
off of Lehigh Station. Lamar's house was on Lehigh Station and that Green Acorn, and then our crib was a little bit further up. And then Micah lived like a couple blocks across Lehigh Station, but like there wasn't a lot of like it's nowhere near as diverse as it is now. Like nigga, I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
yo,
crazy.
like nigga, we ain't even really have sidewalks back then.
Wow,
So, like
really?
I
That's
couldn't
crazy.
like school was only a couple blocks away. I couldn't walk to school because there was no sidewalks. So we had to take
Mm,
a bus. So that was different for me because I grew up walking a mile and a half to school. You know what I'm saying? And they
mm-hmm.
were like, "Nah, you gotta wait for the bus." I'm like, "What you mean wait for the bus? School right there. Like I could see it through 2 houses." And they like, my mom was like, "Nah, ain't no sidewalks. You can't walk to school."
Mm-mm-mm. Oh man. So for those of the people who don't know, man, then we're gonna dig into the crates a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Musically, ladies and gentlemen, this brother right here was one of the best spitters in upstate New York. You know what I'm saying? Coming up, it's of course me doing music and a lot of other people, but there was only a very selective few who actually had bars. And before this man was Dre Says, he used to go by the name Inconspicuous. You understand?
inconspicuous.
So if you want to talk to him a little bit about your journey with that being an MC, man, coming up upstate.
Um, I mean, so like I've known music my whole life, bro. Like my stepdad plays the congas, and he like when I tell you he plays like seven, eight at a time, like till he busts his hands open. They be split open, bleeding and shit, because he
Mm,
plays that. He Dominican. He's a musician. Like that's his thing. It's his passion. My mom was always big into R&B and stuff like that, so I always had that about me. And then my birth father was big in the church, and he actually used to run the soundboards for church.
mm.
Like I would
That's
when I
what's
went
up.
to church, I would sit up in the auditorium with him while he ran the soundboards and shit. Loved it. So like I always liked music, but real talk, bro, I ain't started rapping until damn, I want to say 10th grade year in high
Yeah, that makes
school.
sense. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
they used to have, I remember like it was nothing. They used to have ciphers downstairs. Out okay, so remember downstairs in the gym, but
In the
like
corner.
if you walk through the gym in the back corner, there was like a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the doors were closed. So they would have ciphers back there. And I remember the first time seeing it, I think Lance and
Yep.
Micah was going back and forth. And I was like, damn, what the fuck they doing? Like, I was like, damn, all right. So I was just watching. And I was like, yeah, this shit, that's kind of dope. Like, you know what I mean? And I always knew hip hop, bro. I've known hip hop my whole life. Like, I know music. I can
Right.
predict what rappers are about to say. That's just the way my brain works. Like, I can hear a song for the first time, and if I know that rapper's cadence and their style of rap, I can guess what the rest of the fucking song gonna sound like. Like,
Mm.
I've been really good at that. Like, I'm not perfect with it, but I've been very good at that. So it kind of came natural. Like, so I remember I watched them for a couple weeks. You know, I would go down during lunch break, watch them, blah, blah, blah. And then
Mm-hmm.
my man Brandon Simmons had a studio in his basement over on my homeboy TK Dirty Crib. He had a studio. They had a studio together, and Freddie, who was the producer, Freddie Johnson was the
Yep.
producer.
Freddie. Yep.
You know Freddie, yeah. So we would
Mm-hmm.
go over there and they'd be rapping and shit. And like, and so one day I was like, yo, Brandon, I'm like, let me try this shit. And he's like, what? Like, he's like, "Look," and I was never that dude. I was just a nigga that liked to look good and cool out, make money. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, you want to? I said, yeah, let me try. Let me try. He's like, all right. So he put a beat on, and I went in there and I started rapping, freestyling, but it was like dumb fast, like could barely keep
Mm-hmm.
my breath, had no breath control, right? And so he was like, I came back out, and Freddie was like, yo, that was dope, but like you got to learn breath control. And I'm
Right.
like, what, nigga? I don't know breath control. He's like, nah, you just got to learn breath control. So, all right, cool. So like, you know, a couple days I would go back there. Then I remember fast forward, it was like 3 weeks later, they was downstairs and that beat came on that you better listen to your corner and watch for the hook. You better listen to your corner.
Mm.
So like I was like, shit, fuck it. And I just popped in and did a freestyle. And mad people
Mm.
was staring at me because it wasn't amazing, but it was like they wasn't expecting me to do that shit.
Right.
And like my breath control was off, but I was still getting I was better than I was a couple weeks prior. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, bro, like every chance I got, if I saw a cipher, I don't give a fuck who was in it. I'm trying
Yep.
to rap.
That's a fact. I could vouch for that.
It could be some of the nicest niggas, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. I'm getting in this cipher. And it just, you know, repetitive. And then going to parties and shit, and people knowing that I could rap, making me rap or asking me to rap, and da da da, and like doing shit like handing me stuff so I could rap about what I see. Like it just
Mm.
became a natural thing, bro. I think the way that my brain works with being able to predict the next word so quickly or was going to fit best is what made me such a good freestyler.
That's what set you apart from most. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Definitely. Definitely.
because if you battling me, I know what you like. I could once you start to set up your bar, I know what the punchline gonna be. So while you
Mm.
about to say your punchline, I know if I don't know exactly what it is, I know what it's about to be about, and in my brain, I'm already thinking about the reply to it.
Mm. Right.
And that always helped me out.
No doubt. No doubt. And in terms of us, since we came up in such a different era, musically, what would you feel like we are in the space of the hip hop culture right now? Like, how do you feel about hip hop in 2024? Knowing how we came up and the things that we experienced as real MCs and battles and just putting out real good content that had value. You know what I'm saying?
I loved our era of hip hop. Our
Mm.
era of hip hop is the I think it's the pinnacle of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they had the people that was a little bit before us in the '80s and shit like that, but like, I feel like the late '80s, early '90s, even late '90s, going into 2000s, that's the to me the purest form. Now, I will say this: I don't believe what's going on right now is hip hop. I feel like
Mm.
there's still
Talk
some hip
about it.
hop people out there. You got your Jay Z's, your Nas's, you got you know what I mean. Even like your Pusha T's here and there, Kendrick Lamar, J Cole, Most Def, you know what I mean, Talib. Those are rappers. I mean, those are hip hop artists, right? I feel
Mm.
like these new niggas out, and no shot at them. Let me be very clear about that. No shot at these dudes at all. I feel like that's rap.
Mm.
I feel like we've morphed from hip hop and rap being the same thing to hip hop being hip hop and rap being rap. Or and that's
Mm.
if I'm keeping them in the same category. But a lot of these new niggas like Lil Uzi Vert, NBA YoungBoy, all of them, there I can't call them hip hop.
Right.
But rightfully so, bro. Like I think that's where we get a lot of shit twisted. Like people expect them to be like us. And
Mm.
that wouldn't be good for the culture, bro. There's gotta be growth. They are them,
Mm.
we are us. They take from us just like we took from the previous generation.
Yeah.
You got
Keeping it
you got
real.
yeah, you get Diddy who makes a remix, who created the remix by taking
Mm-hmm.
from soul and jazz music and 70s music, you know what I'm saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
now these dudes are taking from our music and creating what they consider the remix. It may be
Mm.
totally different than what we doing, but it's what they doing, and who the fuck are we to judge them? We're not the ones that are going to bring this to the next level. They are. The next
Right.
level might not be something we like, but at least it's still
Mm.
moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Keep the culture pushing. Yeah.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm. That was a real good way you articulated that, bro. Because there's a lot of OGs who got so much animosity build up for reasons that they don't need to be.
Tell me,
When we in a whole new different evolution right now, and what's been going on and how music has just changed so much in social media, and we got all these different outlets, platforms. I'm very appreciative of the fact of the independent portion of what's been going on. That's where I
bro,
feel very, very appreciative to see. You know
bro.
what I
R,
mean?
listen, bro. You know what I think a lot of these old heads got problems with these new kids for? I
Go
think
ahead and
they
say it.
probably they these niggas is mad they not making the money these new niggas made. So they came out and we had to grind for that shit. You know what I'm saying? These niggas had to
Mm-hmm.
make an album, get it pressed, get it produced, and get it made by a company like Sony or something for them to then
Mm-hmm.
sell it to a music store and then pray that we
Mm.
went to the store and bought it so that they
Yep.
got a penny of that $10 we spent, right? Now you
Mm-hmm.
got these new niggas will record a whole album in 3 days, walk up to the computer, upload that bitch to iTunes and Spotify in one click, and make every cent of the money they're supposed to make.
Yeah.
And instead of them being like, yo, big up to these young niggas that figured it out, they hating
Mm-hmm.
them. Don't get me
And it's
wrong.
not
My nigga
and
Houston
it's not
finna
even
get
it's I mean, yeah. It's a form of figuring it out, but at the same time, the technology wasn't even you couldn't
we
do
didn't
that
have it.
at that
We didn't
time.
have it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I remember people used to record albums on cassette.
Mm-hmm.
My first Wu-Tang joint was on a cassette.
Yeah, my
So
first
like
record was on a digital 4 track.
right. So you see what I'm saying? Like, so like why are
Mm-hmm.
y'all why I don't understand why niggas is hating. It's an evolution. Things gotta change. Things gotta get better. Watch in 20 years, there's gonna be new artists out that are getting even more money than these niggas, and these niggas gonna be the ones that start hating.
Mm.
Instead of being like, you know what, fuck it, let me try to jump on this wave while I still got it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the
You got
cycle
people that have
continues.
that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
You never hear the Jay-Z's and the Kanye's as much shit as Kanye be talking. You'll never hear him going at these young niggas about the way they make their music.
Oh, you know what? I'm so glad that you brought up Jay, right? Because there was a situation that went viral. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. That happened at the Grammys when he was basically saying that his wife got a bunch of Grammys, but she didn't get her just due for album of the year. I want to get your take on specifically why do a lot of us feel like we need to be so validated by the powers that be when it comes to a culture that they didn't create to begin with? Mm, talk about it.
So I don't know if Jay was more upset that she wasn't validated as to he was just using his platform at that time to shine light on how fucked up the choosing process is.
Mm,
So he I feel like, don't get me wrong, I think he was upset that his wife didn't get album of the year ever. Even though she's like one of the leading Grammy winners of
Mm-hmm.
all time. But I also feel like when Jay says stuff like that and does stuff like that, he just figures, okay, I got this spotlight. Let me shine light on how bullshit this is.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Cause he like it, and it. I do hear what you're saying though. There's a lot of people that need to be validated by people who could give a fuck about them, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand that.
Right.
And it's a lot of it is they feel like without that validation, they won't continue to make money, they won't continue to grow, they won't continue to be great. There's people out here that would rather have $100 million and yet go home and have no respect from anybody or actual genuine love or consideration for their art. And then there's people out here that would be like, yo, I'm cool with $2 million.
Mm.
I don't need a billion to then have to go kiss your ass for some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with 2 mil. Bills is paid. I got money in my pocket. I never have to worry if I can afford some shit. You know what I'm saying? So like
Right.
I think there's just two different types of people, bro. Like even with Ye, like my nigga Ye is yeah, I mean Ye is the most outspoken person in the world, but he's still looking for validation from the wrong fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
don't get me wrong, I've always felt like a switch got kicked when his mom died.
Of
Um,
course.
so I feel like he's never been the same since. But for someone who's very outspoken and opinionated, I'm always shocked at how much validation he needs.
Yeah, you're right about that. And being the fact that he was able to make it into the billionaire status and they still was able to
Take it
pull
away.
him by the coattail.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You still are not allowed to say whatever the fuck you want because yeah, you were a billionaire, but that wasn't your $1 billion.
Mm. Talk about it.
That genuinely was
Wow.
not your money. Like you get, yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
they allowed you to be that
Right.
until you decided to say something that they didn't agree with. That's the difference, and
Wow.
that's some of the qualms I be having sometimes with having a day job too. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm Gucci until they feel like I'm not no more,
Mm.
and that's I think that's what drives me sometimes to always have a side hustle. So just in case something
Mm-hmm.
does happen, I have something to fall back on. But like like unless you really created all of this yourself, sometimes you gotta watch what the fuck you say because they'll
Yeah,
take
that's a
it
fact.
away from you. Yeah, but I'll never do that. I need gratification from niggas that really don't give a fuck about me. Like, nah.
I know that's right. And
nah.
speaking of you, because out of so many people on this planet, man, you one of the hardest working people in general in terms of just your bread and butter with the 9 to 5 situation, whatever the case may be. What you being with AT&T.
Yeah.
Um, let's get into a little bit about how long you been there and how have they been? How you feel like they've been treating you?
So I've been there 18 years, bro. Um,
Mm,
no slight at AT&T at all. But I'll say this: they're a corporation. I'm an employee.
mm,
I'm not a fool. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been treating me well. They give me more money every year. I get my raises like clockwork. I've gotten more freedom in what I do, and they're utilizing my skills as far as social media and me being a very talkative person and an outgoing person. So I do like the table day events and stuff like that now. And
mm,
I feel like it's a position that really suits me, right? But
mm-hmm.
I'm like I said, I'm no fool. They're a corporation. I'm an employee. Um, if I were to leave tomorrow, even after being here 18 years, they'll fill my position within 30 days.
Mm.
And
Hello.
I feel like that's what a lot of people forget, and that's why I've been happy with my job because I've never forgotten that.
Mm.
Even when I train new hires, like not in my position now, but when I was running stores and I trained new hires, I explained that to them. Like, yo, you understand you work for one of the largest corporations in the world. You will only be fired if you mess this up. You know what I'm saying? But when they
Right.
let you go, they will replace you. I tell that to
Mm.
all my guys who their girl have a baby and they were working for me. Their husbands or boyfriends work for me. I'd be like, yo, take that paternity leave. Like you get that time. oh, I don't want to be out for that long. No, 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 bro. Go be with your family. That's the most important thing. Again, if you weren't here tomorrow, they would replace you. So you need to concentrate on your family. Like,
Mm.
so like I said, yeah, like they've been great to me. I love them. I love working for them. I'm happy every day when I go to work. Uh, Obviously it's work, so sometimes you get stressed out and shit. But I know, you know what I mean. I know what it is. It's a paycheck to me. It's a career. It's a paycheck. But I don't treat it as anything more than that because, again, if I leave tomorrow, they will replace me.
Hey man, at least you keeping it 1,000. I appreciate that, bro, and thank you for just being steadfast and in your lane and being focused to being able to provide a way for you and your people. You know what I'm saying?
Right, man. I'm
Word.
trying.
You know, and on the side note, man, you are also a business owner as well. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you got the fly definition in the back
Oh
with the
yeah,
logo.
always in the
You know what I'm
back,
saying?
always up the trust. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And I
This is
wanted
the
to ask you about that, you know, briefly. How'd you get that started, bro?
I'm gonna try not to be long winded on this one, but I
Okay, break it down.
I okay, so I started. Okay, no, I didn't start. Terrell, my business partner, shout out to my brother Rel, Flat F Rel. Terrell started Fly Definition as a music website, so he would try to get all the up and coming artists to send him his stuff, and he would post it for them and just get their stuff out there for them.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was some promotional stuff for like nightclubs and all that stuff that they were doing. And then I would just literally wherever he was traveling to for the music shit, I'd be like, "Yo, I'm gonna come." Cause you know me, I'm always
Mm.
out here trying to get money. So like I had money and I was like, I was working and shit. Yo, I'm about to fly out. I got vacation time. He'd be like, bet. So I would go to like I went to Cali. That was the first trip to Cali, was for some music shit.
Mm.
Like we just went out there, me, him, my man Soy, and my homeboy Sean. We went out there on some music shit. Soy is one of the illest producers in the world, by the way. But um in 2011, 10, 11, I think, I found out I was a diabetic. So
Mm.
I was living in my crib on Park Ave, laying up on the couch, couldn't really do much because I mean, with the diabetes, especially when you first find out, like you got to regulate your blood sugar, so you feel like shit the whole time. So I'm making phone calls, telling people like that I care about, like, yo, this is what's going on with me. Da, da, da. So I tell Terrell, he said, "What the fuck you about to do?" I said, "I don't know, nigga. I'm about to just lay here. Like, I got a couple weeks off of work. I got to get my shit right." Da da da. He was like, "Yo, every time we go out of town, I mean, you're doing the clothing shit. You go to the mall and all that other shit.
Mm.
Why don't you do a clothing blog?" I said, "That's a good idea. I fucks with it. I'll try to do that." So I started Dre Says. Dre Says blog, Fashion Fresh. So I would just blog about clothes, and then Terrell slowly came across from the music scene, um, and wanted to start doing clothes. So we started doing clothes together and collabing, and we
Mm.
did the Dre Says face with the Fly Definition tape over the front. We did
Mm.
like a glow in the dark T-shirt together. That was our first one together. Um, and then the rest is history, bro. We started
Mm.
pushing the clothing thing. We had a couple of people in on it with us, but at the end of the day, it just broke down to just me and him. And so we push, did a lot of traveling, did a lot of conventions, and we were going pretty steady for a long time. And then last year we kind of slowed down just because of work. I took a new position. Terrell took a new position at his job, and there just wasn't time to get everything designed and printed and all that stuff. But this year we are back, and we're gonna get this cracking again. Like now that
That's
we
what's up.
now that we just slowed down at work and got familiar with our new positions, it's time to get this cracking.
That's what's up, man. Definitely looking forward to that, man. Y'all always had a beautiful brand for years now, man. Y'all always elevating when it comes to your different designs and the color schemes. Everything that I've seen thus far been fire, man. I definitely gotta purchase some things and get right. So I appreciate you and Terrell for that, man. Y'all definitely paving the way for people who want to learn how to actually have a decent business. At of course, it's not everything is not easy. It's gonna take some time and some doing. You know what I mean? Me and you already chopped it up about that as well, cause I got a couple things cooking. But
Yeah,
appreciate y'all for being the forefront of things, man. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
we trying, bro. It take time, and money. And you got to realize you're not gonna win right out the gate. Some people do, but not everybody does. So you gotta be
Mm,
willing to grind out that shit, bro. And my personal thing is we stay true to us. We don't follow
mm,
trends. We only
No
make what
doubt.
we.
No doubt. No doubt. So how are you balancing that with the with your business and the work and family? Like how are you balancing everything out? You know what I
With
mean?
the grace of God, bro. Nah, nah, I don't. I'm not, yo, bro. It's crazy. It's not hard for me because, unlike people think, I'm not out here. Like everybody thinks, like because they see me on social media, all that shit, and they may see me out, and I'm a noticeable person. I'm a big guy. I'm 6 foot, 400 pounds. Like it's hard to miss. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
But I really work, go visit Shorty, home. That's my life.
mm,
And then if anything needs to be done with Fly Definition or with the Dre Says stuff, I do it when I get home. So my
right.
focus is work because that pays the bills and that allots for me to one, provide for myself and anybody else I care about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
two, provide money for this. This makes money for itself, but there's sometimes we got to put our own bread in. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So work, then the people I care about, either go see Shorty or go see my niece and nephew, play a basketball game, whatever. Bring my black ass home, and I work on the dream. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Right.
even if it's just like I'm browsing through hoodie types to figure out what I want to do next, or you know what I'm saying, or like I hit Terrell like, yo, bro, what you think about doing this? And then he'll tell me like, and it's been like I said, it's been about a year since we put anything out, just because we had to get acclimated to our stuff. But like our process is literally Terrell will be like, yo, I made this design, and he'll send it over, and I'm like, yo, that would be fire on this in this color.
Mm,
Like, oh yeah, realistically, Terrell is the designer of all of this shit. I am,
mm.
I'm me. I'm the face of it. I'm the promoter of it. I'll talk about it. I'm really good at picking out the colors and what it should go on, but like the raw
Right.
designs, Terrell do that shit.
Oh
That boy
wow.
is monster.
Mm. Oh man. So shout out to him, man, for
Yeah.
being such a good business partner and for y'all
Oh
two to
yeah.
mesh the way y'all do to make it happen, man. It's all
Yeah.
about chemistry at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all
We
about
always say
chemistry.
it. We always say it. Me and him are the only people to us that are guaranteed to always do what we're supposed to do. Like when it comes to us, we guarantee. Like I can count on him. He can count on me.
Mm. I know that's right.
Yeah.
As we cap off to finish off the top of the hour, man, what do you think, or what is your advice to some of the up and coming kids that are maybe into fashion or into hip hop or whatever they got going on to try to, aside from their daily work or whatever they got going on, what would you say to, what would you give some advice to some of the kids coming up about how to just maintain, man, and be a part of the fashion world or whatever case may be?
Um. The first thing I would say is there's nothing wrong with a day job, right?
Mm,
And with saying that, there's also nothing wrong with working your ass off once you get out of that day job. You can have a 9 to 5, but make sure you have a 5 to 9 as well. That
mm,
5 to 9 is your life. That 5 to 9 is your dreams and your compassion, the things that you want to get done. It will suck for the first couple of years because you will be working basically 2 jobs until your dreams or until your business goes on autopilot. You will literally be working day and night. But
mm,
if it's a dream, you ain't gonna have no problem doing that. You know what I'm saying? If it's something you love,
mm-hmm.
so I would say that first of all, there ain't nothing wrong with having a day job, and make sure you work a 9 to 5 and then a 5 to 9. And the other thing I would say is do what you feel comfortable and what you appreciate. So don't go out there doing shit because it's the trend. If you wouldn't put it on your back, how do you expect somebody else to? Don't go the cheap route. Sometimes you got to pay that extra money for the quality. Sometimes you got to charge a little bit more. Don't let nobody tell you you charging too much for the physical work and the mental work that you put in. Okay, nobody put a price on shit that you create. You created it.
Mm. Talk about it.
So I mean, that's my thing. Like, I hate when people be like, "Oh, that's a little bit too much for a t-shirt." That's fine. That's the price, though. Like,
Mm,
that's what the hoodie is. Because if you could have did it, you would have done it.
mm.
technically the shit is priceless. You know what I'm saying? Like to
No
you,
doubt.
'cause you can't create that. You didn't come up with that. So like it's priceless to you. So yeah, there's shit that I won't pay for, but I'll never complain to the person and be like, that's too much. I'll just be like, yo, I appreciate it, but I can't do that right now. Thanks. But it's dope. I'll let you know. And the last thing I'll say that made me think of it. The last thing I'll say is support your fucking friends. And I'm not
Mm.
talking about financially. Go press a like button, go press a share, hit them up and tell them, yo, that's fire. Support them in the way a friend should support their friends.
Right.
I've never in my life heard somebody say, to be my friend, you got to pay me $50 a month.
Mm.
Right? You never heard nobody say that. You got to pay me to be my friend. But I bet money everybody who has a friend expects their friend to show love and compassion and understanding to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if your friend is putting something out there to the world that they want the world to see and they plan to make money off of it, it's a business for them, show some love and compassion and understanding for that business. You don't
Oh
always
man,
gotta
that's
buy shit.
beautiful.
The strangers will spend the money, but if you're not helping getting the word out there to the strangers, then you're hindering your friends. So you're not showing that love and compassion.
Mm. Yeah, that's a lot of things. That's a beautiful point, bro. Because a lot of people got so many different things going on, but they rarely, really support each other. And it's like, how you gonna grow if you're not supporting your man? But when it comes to celebrities and other people, everybody ready to line up outside just to
Bro,
a signed autograph picture.
you can look on my
You know
Facebook
what I
and
mean?
my Instagram. Even if I didn't watch the video that you posted, even if I didn't see the picture you posted, if I saw anybody that I know and care about's name on it, I'm liking the shit.
Right.
Like I see all your dance videos, bro. I don't have time to watch all of them, but I damn sure gonna hit the like button. It could be
No
three
doubt.
seconds in, bang, I'm hitting the like button. That's my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because the more
Mm-hmm.
that you hit the like button, the more that you comment on shit, it shares it in the algorithm for people who don't know that person.
Mm.
So if I can't take 2 seconds to like your shit, but I can like Kevin Hart's fucking video. What kind of friend
Right.
am I?
Mm. Talk about it.
That nigga don't need more followers. He got millions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so yeah, you're right. People will support celebrities before they do their own friends. But like I said, to me, support isn't always the dollar thing because if you run into a nigga like me or run into a nigga like you and we friends, we can't afford to be buying everything that we put out because there's multiple things. You know what I'm saying? But you
Mm-hmm.
can't afford to like and share the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Damn, appreciate them points, bro. This is strong. This is strong. Now people also don't know that you got a podcast. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh yeah, it's been a
what's
while. That's
cooking with the
why
pod, bro? What's cooking
I've
with the
been
pod?
I've been slacking. I'm about to have you on my podcast now, though. No,
Appreciate
I
that.
Dre Says podcast, bro. I started it during the pandemic. I think I got like 60 episodes or some shit, or 30. No, yeah, 60 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just me talking, bro. It's just me opening up about who I was. During the pandemic, I had a lot of time to think. I was chilling in the crib for like 6 months. And as you can see, I love to talk. So I started the podcast. But again, just like the clothing line, once the new position came into effect, I didn't do that for a while. So this year is rebuilding year for me. So clothing line, podcast, all that shit's about to be popping again. Um, and I'm gonna get out here and start talking and having more interview podcasts like this. My first 20 podcasts was just
Mm.
me talking, venting out about what I thought about the world and shit. And then I started having guests on. So like, yeah, we about to get back to that. I need to. It's a good therapy. It's a good release. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and
Definitely.
you learn shit about people you didn't know.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Oh, so we're looking for a lot of things from you in the rest of 2024, man. Your energy's up. Everything
Oh
is
yeah,
been smooth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking
happy.
forward to also building with you, man, and keeping in direct contact.
Yeah.
We got some
Now that I know
things to
you back on the
accomplish,
East
man.
Coast, nigga,
Right,
like,
right,
yeah,
right,
I'm
right.
about to slide by and come see you. Shit, it ain't that far away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you know, I'll be all over the place. Well, I have. It was a point in time where I was doing so much moving around and traveling and things of that nature, but definitely touching down and just just trying to feed the people, man, with the right content. I love what I'm doing with this.
Good.
I've been really wanting to do it for a while ago, like we had talked about before, but I didn't get a chance to really, put my finger on it. But things have really been real smooth lately, and I've been in a good headspace. Aside from all of the things that happen in life, like with everybody, we have to try to find that time to just be,
Yeah.
just be. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And that's very important. And a lot of people are so attached to their lives and what they got going on and moving around and working. Everybody got something that they got to do, but people need to just be sometimes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think that's very important, man. Um, Anything else that you wanted to any shout outs you want to give to the people out there before we cap off?
Um, I just got one question for you. I know we ran a little long, but I got one question for you because I'm interested to hear your answer.
Mm.
How did me and you end up as the last of the Mohicans out of our friends, bro? You know we're the only ones with no kids, right?
Ooh. Ooh, you put the nail in the coffin with that one. Um, that's a good question, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we both 40.
Right. I know my reasoning behind it. I'm thinking yours is probably close to the same, but
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have had a few shells moving around. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Um, to God be the glory. Things didn't happen in my favor for them to be able to be on this planet. But I definitely would have had some kids moving around. I say that to say this. I do want kids one day. But I'm definitely going to be very very smart about it. And I feel like I've done the best that I could in terms of being as smart as I can to make sure that I'm not just having a bunch of kids all over the place, but
Exactly.
you know,
That's the same shit I felt, bro. I'm gonna be honest. It was just I joke about this, but I'm dead ass, and I apologize to all my exes as I say this. But I know God knows who I was and wasn't supposed to have kids with, bro.
exactly. That's how I feel.
If we going through
Exactly.
my exes, he made the right decision on that because I'm not
Yeah.
about to be fighting over when I can see my kid. I'm not about to be, you know, what I mean, I'm gonna be a father if I ever have one. Like, and that's it.
Exactly.
And you won't be able to
Mm-hmm.
stop. One or two things gonna happen. You know, I'm gonna be a father. I'm gonna be in jail trying to be a father. You know what I'm saying? Because you wouldn't allow me to. So,
Yep.
but I just always thought about. I was thinking about it when we was talking about doing this thing. And I said, "Damn!" I said, "Me and I both don't got no kids." Like, and
Right.
everybody else do. Like, but it's you're right. It was just correct selection. You know what I'm saying? I done had a
Mm-hmm.
couple oopses there, but
Right.
didn't pan
But
out that
by the grace of God,
right.
it's a sad story, but it's a good story at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Because
know,
it wouldn't have been no fun for me or their mother, to be honest with you. I know we would have
like
clashed. There would have been a problem, and
yeah,
I'm not trying to go through that. I watched too many of my friends go through that shit, so I'm not trying to go through that.
yes, sir. Amen to that. Amen to that. Whoa, man. Damn, this has been a great interview, bro. This has
I
been a great,
appreciate it.
great, great segment, man. I'm glad I got to get you up on here. Episode 16 of the Talk About It TV, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, man, Dre Says is in the building. Bro, I really appreciate you a lot more than you know. We have years under our belt. I was very, very excited to do this piece, and I'm just glad you was able to have the time for me, man, for us to
Oh,
chop it up,
bro.
bro.
Whenever, bro. I really appreciate you having me on here. You know that. I always got the time for you, bro.
I might need a part two from you, man. I might need a
Got
part
you.
two.
I got you.
And I'm definitely when you get back rolling with yours, you already know whenever you
Oh
need
yeah.
me, bro.
I'm already you the first time slot. We ain't even gonna talk about it.
Hey, let's bang it out, man. Talk about it, TV, baby.
Hey, my guy.
Peace, peace, appreciation.